We need to change our code word from meatloaf to lipstick because I never remember to put it on until like last second.
I'm not yellow lipstick.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Fine. Be like that.
Hold on, let me open
Not a team player.
Not
what's up, everybody? I'm Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays. This is Morning Wood. Today is the first day of the last Woody standing contest. So y'all get your act right on. It's going to be a good one. The pot right now is $200 because Thomas and Jay Jones both fell out. So Alex L, Jim Bob, Joan, J Rock, Lex Steele, Silky Man, you guys are still in it competing for $200 and a Morning Wood t-shirt. So that's the old one that's still going on, but there is a new one also that begins today. I'm going to tick the rules at the bottom of the screen, okay? Here's how it works. You can give me any pick in any sport, but the juice has to be under a minus 150, and you cannot manipulate the lines. I'm like, let me read the rules. I forgot.
Like, wait, what are they?
Manipulate the lines. So no buying points, all right? You can do that in the Handicapper. You cannot do it in the Woody. And then if your pick cashes, how this contest works is you come back tomorrow, you pick again. You come back tomorrow until you miss a pick or until you are the last Woody standing. That's how we're doing this. All right. We do have two special guests today. All week long, we're doing a little preseason recap on everybody's favorite teams. All right. So Craig Trapp, his team is the Bengals. Sean Higgs, his team is the Cowboys. Those two are going to be on today talking about that preseason game one and things they saw that they liked and they didn't like. Tomorrow, I've got the Twins on. Tim is doing the Jets. Nick's got the Giants. No, sorry, that's Tuesday. Tuesday, Cam is doing the Steelers. Lenny is doing the Lions. The Twins will be on Wednesday. Thursday, Sammy P will be back with the Patriots. Joe Madden's on Friday. I got him all.
Miss Sammy P.
I got him all booked up. Yep, exactly. You want someone to talk Patriots, don't you call the New England Sports Network guy?
But I'm bummed I'm going to miss him. I won't be here Thursday.
Oh, that's right. You're not here Thursday and Friday. That's right. What's up, Tate? Let's get Monday started. Rangers, Nerfy. Am I crazy? I like the A's and the Diamondbacks today. Like, that's where I'm at. Two teams that I shouldn't like is who I like today.
I don't like the A's, but I do like the Diamondbacks.
I just feel like the A's didn't really travel much. They were just in Houston, and they're coming off a tough series. They were putting up runs. I don't hate Caprillion. I don't know. I just got a feel. I like them on the run line. I don't know if I'd money line them, but I don't know. Hi, Crystal Craig. You're going with the A's on the money line. See? We get each other, Crystal. We get each other. I would take the run line.
Well, then it's a winner for sure.
Yeah, 100%. We're
100%.
on it. For the purposes of this contest, when I was on it this morning, the run line was at a minus 149, Crystal. So if you wanted to grab a run and a half, you could still do it with the juice, which tends to be a safer play when you're doing the last Woody standing contest. Let me pull my lines up here too. Beep, boop, boop, boop.
Pull your lines up, will you?
Get my lines up. Beep, beep, boop, boop. Yes, Tate. Rangers nervy for Meatloaf is game time decision, so you have lipstick for Morningwood. Isn't lipstick kind of another name for a Morningwood? For dogs or whatever? Okay, see, look, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Just saying.
You're a little bit.
Anybody? I know. I'm already coffeeed up, guys. I'm sorry. I'm coffeed up. I had a morning. I put my.
You're at like an 8, and we'd like you at a 6.
You're right.
I'm just messing.
Hit the no, it's okay. I take criticism well. It's all right. Hit the like or no last Woody standing. 100 likes today. Let's do it. Everybody hit that like button. And let's also not forget about our official sponsor while we're at it. BetMGM, people. BetMGM. Up to your in a risk-free first bet. This promo might not be around much longer. So if you guys haven't already got signed on with BetMGM, TikTok, people, TikTok. Use the promo code MORNING when you download the app onto your phone. Use the promo code MORNING. It's going to get you all hooked up for all new accounts. Yes, and let's not forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. If you're over at picksandparlays.net and you're looking for premium plays from like Craig Trapp or Sean Higgs or the Twins, Use the promo code NFL. That will save you 20%. And if you have not already joined the Morning Woody Facebook crew, do that also. Here's the link right here. Lots of fun to be had. How's the Handicapper going? Did you update?
I didn't update last night.
Okay.
I got the spreadsheet updated up until last night. I gotta do that tonight. I just have Monday's my busy day, so it'll be updated by the end of the day. It's just I just have to plug in numbers and rearrange who's in top and who's not.
Okay, I graded everything, so you should be good to go.
Yeah,
you should be good to go.
Thank you.
This is a tough one. This was a stay away game for me. The Mets and the Braves. I mean, I like Cookie. You know, I like my Cookie. This is just a tough series. I'm looking forward to watching it. Do you have feelings on the Mets and the Braves?
This is my last Woody standing.
Is it the Mets?
And I'm on the spreadsheet before he was. But yeah, it's part of my handicap 10. I like it. I think it's going to be. I think that anytime you're going to give me the Mets plus money, I'm going to take it. And for contest purposes, if I can get a run and a half, I'm going to take it. So I'm just going to, and I know it's Cookie on the mound, but I'm going to eat a bunch of cookies today, and it's Cookie Monster Day.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Go Mets, go. Let's go Mets. Actually, I'm really rooting for the Braves. I mean, they know that. I like the Braves. That's one of my teams. But go Mets also. So.
Yeah, just don't lose by more than 2.
Huh?
Just don't lose by 2.
By more than 2. Okay, that's fair. Mets money line. AJ, you can take that on a run line if you want it. Show Me Loot is going with the Yankees. That was one of my handicapitons yesterday. I faded the Yankees with the Red Sox run line. I got that, and I got the Raiders. I'm 14-14 now in my handicapiton. I went 2-0 on Friday, 2-0 on Sunday, and 1-1 on Saturday. So I keep shooting you my picks because I don't want you to think I'm cheating. I'm like, I do have real picks out there, you know. Danny Dangerfield, damn right, Daniels, Padres for the Nerfy. Hi, Silky. All right, the old one, he's going Braves money line, and the new one, the Padres. See, I like the Diamondbacks. I'm kind of on the other side of that one. It's the wipeout game. It's the slaughter game of the night also. And I hate going against. Oh, no. That's Giants are playing Diamondbacks, huh? I'm backwards. Yeah, Padres are the Marlins. Okay, I'm with you, Silky. We're back on the same page. How about the Lions?
I was okay with it. I'm 100%. 100%. No, I listen. I want them to lose in the preseason. Don't win preseason games. They mean nothing. I saw what I needed to saw. I know what they need to do. It's not a secret, but I don't know if they can get it done for years. So,
right.
You know, it's not. They're not one player away.
Did you call Dan Campbell and let him know what your take?
Oh yeah, we had a whole conversation.
Okay.
In my head.
So yeah, expect them to win soon. You know, Lenny's on it, guys. Don't worry about the Lions. Lenny's on it.
Yeah, trust me. I was bored. I was looking at flights. My wife took my phone away. I was showing up to training camp today. I was taking a week off, and I was showing up to training camp, and I was going to show some people how to do some things.
How to run through walls. Let me show you this. Show you how to run through a wall.
Yeah. So
that's what we'll be doing today.
Yeah, my wife said I couldn't go though.
Women, am I right?
I know.
Jeez, you smashed the like. Thank you. Everybody smash that like button. Smash the like. That's how we keep all the free content coming your way. Your last Woody is the Blue Jays first 5 -120. So, Justin, clarify for me real quick. Toronto first 5 lead. Does that mean they have to be winning? Or is that just a money line? And if they're tied, it's a push. I'm not like, you know what I mean? Sometimes the bets are specific like that. You know, maybe it's not even a question I should ask, but I'm going to.
I don't even know what the hell.
Just because he wrote the lead.
I stopped reading when y'all are like, hey, hi, Allie. Oh my God, your hair and this and that. And then at the end, your last LWS is this. That's why you guys get missed on spreadsheets. You should start with LWS is this. By the way, Allie, your lipstick looks phenomenal. And I know you're all coffeeed up and all that. Yeah, so whatever. But just so see, I almost missed Justin, so I'll go back and get him.
So you're gonna blame that on my hair? Really?
No, I'm gonna
My
blame it on
fantastic
because
hair.
poor word placement in a sentence. That's what I'm gonna blame it on.
You're on the Guardians game 1 and the Dodgers. All right, BJ, what do you want your contest pick to be? I'm just doing what Tim Earl said. Oh God, if Tim Earl said, then I don't know if I like the A's anymore. I'm taking the A's and the Padres, or the A's and the Diamondbacks on the run line as my Handicapper picks. For my Woody,
So hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Toronto first 5 lead? Isn't that just Toronto first 5 money line?
That's what I just asked. That was
Right?
my question. Was do they have to be in the
Are you
lead?
just trying to wordplay us so you think you can push on that? But if that's a money line. I'm just putting Toronto
But that's, you know how sometimes they have those bets where it's like they'll be winning, like who's winning at the end of the 5th or whatever, you know. So that's why I was asking, but I just don't see the juice being a minus 120 on that. Like if it was a 3-way line, the juice it'd be like more of a plus money.
Right.
So, okay, we're going with that's the Blue Jays first 5 money line.
Yeah, he's just trying to be wordplay.
I don't think he's trying to. He just.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm not
just what
intentionally. But
yeah. So, moral of the story is, Justin, get your shit together. All right, we're good now. Mariners on the money line for J Miz. What's up, J Miz? Phillies for Cody the God. Really sweaty. Aw, you are on a bit of a 1-1 run right now, aren't you? You are crazy, but that's beyond the point. Both of you, just back to back, crazy attack. Mets game, no runs first inning for Diamond Hill.
That's really, really juicy. Like 170, because I looked at that Nerfy.
You can't have this.
Pretty sure, or maybe one. It's close. It's close. Unless maybe you got some real good book, but last I looked, that was.
I have no. Will there be a score in the first inning? No, 134 on BOL. Mets Braves. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I have it.
Maybe that was earlier. So
maybe there was a pitching change. All right.
All right. Look right. Act right. Turn my hair out. Sit up straight. Lipstick.
Gloss. Oh God, I always forget the gloss. Okay, so Craig Trapp is in the house and he's going to be breaking down the Bengals for us. What's going on, Mr. Trapp?
NFL week preseason 1, what are your expectations? I think is depending on what level of where your team is. Do you think your team is a Super Bowl contender? Because if you think your team is a Super Bowl contender, you probably didn't play anybody in the preseason week 1, which is what we saw for what we're going to talk about the Bengals. I mean, you didn't see, obviously Joe Burrow was out no matter what. He wasn't going to get to play. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's not a whole lot to break down with the Bengals because you didn't see many starters.
I've got questions. I've got questions prepared.
I think the preseason week 1, I'm glad his knee's not an ACL, obviously, with Zach Wilson, because if that, we might not have seen any starters rest of the preseason if he went down, because there would have been coaches and GMs and owners that said, you know what, let's just wait till week 1. So I'm excited because I do think now that he's going to be back in 2 to 6 weeks, and maybe even for week 1 that we see teams are like, okay, guys can get injured and still get back too.
Right. So, yeah, part of how I wanted to kind of start this was, we all know what happened with Zach Wilson. Also, Burrow's not playing, and we remember his inaugural season where he didn't play at all. So that really brings us to why preseason kind of is important, and that's because we're getting to see our backups and what would happen if those future bets that you made on certain teams, if their starter does go out, what are you then kind of left with? And then we even saw it in the Bengals game when Brandon Allen went out. So the second string quarterback goes down, and then your third stringer, Jake Browning, came in. Yep. He didn't have a bad performance, but what was, and then your Ball State guy came in. Plitt came in also. But should Burrow be sidelined during the season? How do you feel about the Bengals' backup quarterbacks? How are we feeling about that?
I'm guessing if the Bengals if he went down now we're in the regular season, the Bengals, it's over. Like, I mean, you can almost say that with every team in the NFL, that if you lose your true, like I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer yet because he's got to put years in to get to that. But I mean, he's a legitimate first team All NFL talent, and he's proven it already. Take him to the Super Bowl last year. If you lose that, you're not picking the pieces up with. Now, can they still get wins? Yes, but they're not, challenging for the division, challenging for the Super Bowl if he goes down. I did like what we saw with the backup quarterbacks. I just think, I'm guessing if the Bengals, just like anybody, went down, Jimmy G, like trade talk would or do you, if he gets cut, you'd be into that Jimmy G talk, kind of like the Browns are. They're waiting to hear about Watson, and I got to think if he gets cut, they're going to try to go after Jimmy G. Because if you're a win now team, you need a guy that can at least get you there. We know Jimmy G could get you there. He's done it before. So, and last year they were about 5 plays away from going back a second time.
Boy, vey. I was very stressed out. I was very stressed out about the whole situation. Okay, so here's another thing that I was kind of picking up on in the preseason, which leads me to a question. Penalties. Penalties were a big issue with the Bengals, as well as the team we're going to talk about next, the Cowboys. They had 11 penalties, resulting in a loss of 104 yards.
Yep.
So my question is, with all the rookies and the new players that, are obviously on the field in the preseason, are penalties just like a natural part of the preseason, or is it something that we should kind of pay attention to as we go into the regular season, penalty-prone teams?
Well, usually, team there in your hometown, the Raiders are usually the most penalized team when it comes to the regular season. It's not been so bad, actually, in the preseason, the Raiders. But, yes, there's teams that are definitely more physical, and they get, the more the especially, in the secondary, that's where a lot of these penalties happen now, where, you get a little handsy, you get the pass interference, you get the illegal contact down the field. Those I can live with. The ones that we're getting now in a lot of these games, including the Cowboys, the Vikings, pre-snap penalties, formation issues. These are stuff that, like good teams just don't get, even when you're talking about second or third teams. So I do think, depending on what type of penalty is, you start to pay attention and you start to maybe mark this down in your book, like, hey, maybe this is a team isn't as well coached, because I always think really good coach teams don't do those kinds of things.
That was kind of one of my next questions, was how much do penalties have to do with is it like the players, or is it more the coaching? And how do you rectify something like racking up a ton? In basketball, we see it all the time. Certain teams just get into foul trouble and it screws you towards the end of the game. How do you rectify that in football? Coaching, players, what?
Well, they're definitely coaching. Coaching matters. There's a reason why Bill Belichick has all the Super Bowls. It's like he's the best coach team. His teams are the best. They don't beat themselves. And teams that beat themselves struggle to win in big games. They're not good against the spread usually. It's like, it matters in football. Now, there's also certain players, that there's certain teams that draft smarter players too, that like, hey, we might not take as athletic offensive linemen because we know he'll make up for those, athletic issues by being the smartest player on the offensive line. There's teams that put a big value on just taking the best athlete at any given position. And that, the Cowboys are definitely one of those teams where that gets you in trouble, because guess what? When you take the Ezekiel Elliott's in the word that are making off the field mistakes, so he's missing game times and those kind of things, or he's not available to you because he doesn't take care of his body in the offseason. Because I'm not saying Ezekiel, I'm just using that as an example.
Right.
Those players, they commit more penalties. They're not in the right spot, and that's why coaching matters. And also in when I say coaching and drafting players. So front office decisions, Belichick's obviously involved in all those type of things. So I think it definitely matters. Teams like the Cowboys are always going to be issues because you're not getting the best coach. You want to know why? No one wants to work for a terrible owner that's micromanaging. And that's always going to be an issue until Jerry Jones hires a GM and steps away from that, where you do the right thing. And that's what's important in running a team, is that you do the right team all the time for the team. I'm not sure Jerry Jones I think he's doing what's best for the bottom line.
That's fair and kind of obvious also.
Yeah. And my Bengals were right there too. So hey, as much as I want to throw the shade on the Cowboys, until recently, the Joe Burrow and the new coach, once they got rid of Marvin Lewis and everything, Coach Taylor, the Bengals were right there where they didn't have a GM and they weren't making the correct decisions for the team. I think now it's starting to change. Hopefully Jerry Jones and some of these other owners will do the same. Washington football team, they're up there too. They make some really bad decisions as well.
Talk to me about the Houston Texans, because I know that like they've made some coaching swaps around. Is that a good look for us?
I think that I try to, on new coaches, give them the first 4 or 5 games of the regular season before I make a lot of like, hey, this is a good coach or this isn't a bad coach, or you know what I mean? Because first of all, you definitely can't tell in the preseason. I mean, it's like they're now with the limited. I mean, back in when we were growing up, Allie, they went 2-a-days for 30 days with pads. So I mean, players got tons and tons of reps. By game 1, you knew if this team is well coached, they're going to be ready to go. It's not that way anymore. You have the mini camps. You have very limited training camp, and they're only allowed so many hours a day with these guys now. It's not like an unlimited hours anymore. So it's a much tougher spot now for young coaches when you get in, because you got a lot of defense, offense, special teams to put in. Sometimes you just don't have the time. So you're still putting that stuff in even week 1, week 2. So I'm on the Texans. I actually like what they've done. Okay. But there's still a talent gap. Let's just be honest. There's a talent gap with the Texans 100%. Compared to everybody else. So 100%. These, you can have the best coach in the world. If you don't have any talent, this is a talent league. NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. All these are talent leagues. You can be the best coach. You have to have talent. The Texans are doing the right thing now. It's going to take a few years, though, to get to the level of where they can compete week in, week out. Yes, they can still win. But, anyone can win in any game. But
it's kind of like you were saying. Like, we did have talent. We had Watson, we had Watt, we had Foster, we've had Hopkins, we've had all kinds of talent. But that freaking coach was just I can't even remember. Bud Adams? No, that was the Titans guy. What was his name? Everyone hated him in Texas. The guy who just got fired.
Oh, well, they had a guy one year, but the year before that was the guy from the Patriots.
I can't think of his name, but every time I went to Houston, everyone was like, we would be so much better if this guy would just get fired. And then finally he did.
But I also think that's an ownership, a GM type thing too, as well. Top down. Teams are built from top down. Bill O'Brien.
I was thinking Bradley. Bill O'Brien. There it is.
But he's been successful everywhere else he's been. So sometimes you have to say, was it just coaching? Because sometimes, if you're dealt a bad hand and you continue to get players that don't want to play there, it's not just because of coaching. A lot of times it's, like how the team is run as from ownership, GM down. Bill O'Brien, a lot of success with the Patriots. And I think he was with Alabama. You didn't hear any problems when he was there. And let's be honest, Josh McDaniels wasn't so good when he was with the Broncos. Goes back to the Patriots, was good before. Now he's with the Raiders. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Young coaches are very, very, or even new coaches, not just young coaches. Tough to figure it out. Tough to figure out the first few weeks. I always try to put a line through those teams unless I really have strong opinions on the other team. The first few weeks of both the preseason and the regular season.
So here's another capper question. In my research of the Bengals, I realized that you guys kind of have an all-star kicker, a second-year kicker, Evan McPherson. This kid's lights out. He hit all 3 of his field goals all in the second quarter of the game. So when you've got like a fantasy football worthy kicker on your team and you're handicapping a game, what games are you looking at when the kicker is really important to consider in your cap? Is that like the low scoring games? Is it games where there's not going to talk to me about that from a handicapping perspective? When does the kicker matter?
Well, I would say special teams in general, I kind of consider them washes unless it's just unless one is just way, top, say top kicker versus worst kicker, then I might make a slight rank, adjustment. But usually I consider them a wash because usually special teams kind of works its way out. Now, in a given game, guys can fumble on the kickoff, run a kickoff back. I mean, weird things can happen. But now in lower scoring games, kicking definitely matters. Like the Ravens a few years back when they had the great defense, they ran the ball a lot. They had the best kicker in football. That always matters. But if you're on a high scoring team like the Bengals, they're going to play a lot of high scoring games, the Bengals, because they're going to score lots of points. And their defense is going to be on the field a lot. They're going to give up plenty of points this year that I don't really consider kicking a difference maker, let's just say, in my handicapping. I'm way more determined making decisions based on defense versus offense, how they match up, individual players, how they match up against, and there's like thing. Kickers, I expect kickers in the pros to make them. I would be way more to give way more in college football, because if you have a great kicker in college football, that's going to mean a lot.
I guess too, like, excuse me. I was asking, I guess, like, what situations should you be looking for a better kicker? What does weather have anything to do with that? I'm learning stuff right now, so I've got a million questions. Okay, so don't
Weather
make fun
matters,
of me.
yeah.
I just have questions.
Weather matters better than the kicker a lot of times, because I mean, you get one of these Chicago games. It seems like the Bears always have a ton of them where it's like you get that lake wind where I don't care how great a kicker, you can't kick more than a 35-yarder because the wind's 40, 50 miles an hour against you. So yeah, the weather would matter more to me than an individual maybe having the better kicker than the worst kicker in an individual game. Weather is the great equalizer in outdoor sports. Now, thank goodness we have a lot of inside teams, a lot of games that weather don't come into effect, because a lot of times the weather we don't know until the last minute. So I give out a pick the night before, and all of a sudden we wake up and the weather looked great yesterday. All of a sudden, rain, snow, wind. All of a sudden, that's why I have a lot of VIP club members that I send out the text updates that I'll be like, hey, I like the over yesterday. Let's don't bet the over. Let's bet it for less, because obviously we're in a windy game. We're not going to have a whole lot of passing.
Right. Okay, so the next game you're at the Giants on Sunday. It's looking like Giants are a -3.5, bumped up from a 2.5. We've got a total of 40.5, come down from a 42. What are your initial thoughts on what you guys got to work on and how it's going to be facing the Giants, which, by the way, are my new favorite team in football? Just saying.
Because you like Danny Dimes, you like Daniel Jones?
No, because I'm sold on this Dabble guy. Him. I'm into him. Let's go. Go Giants. I'm in.
Hurt.
I don't know. I'm
interested to see how Daniel Jones does this year. But in this matchup, they're deserving favorite, because the Bengals, obviously Burrow's not playing. Probably won't play in the preseason now, because he did do some on-game sprints with the team, so that was positive before last game. He's been doing some 7-on-7 drills, so I think he'll get worked into practice. But I don't think you're going to rush him out this week for sure. Maybe in week 3 we see him for a possession or two, but I don't think we'll see him this week. Obviously, you had some banged up players out of the Bengals last game. So I think we're going to see more with Browning, I believe, more than probably any quarterback, which I thought he looked okay. I mean, he was out of Washington. I saw him play several times last year. Not the guy you want to go against. Daniel Jones and has a lot to prove, not just in the regular season, but I think he has a lot to prove to his players on his team. And I think you're going to see the Giants starters play more, just because, hey, new coach, new system, quarterback that needs improving. Tyrod Taylor's a good backup. So I think we'll actually see maybe even Tyrod Taylor, maybe get one possession with the ones to say, hey, if Daniel Jones doesn't get this worked out, we know he's a proven backup, but let's see if he can get some match. So I like the Giants in this one. Just looking at it initially, I would definitely take the Giants in the points. And this Bengals defense wasn't so good last game. I think the over is looking good as well. And overall, usually preseason is under. Go look at those numbers. A lot of over games in week 1, which is one of the few times we've ever seen that in week 1 of the NFL preseason.
So do you think the bookmakers catch up? Or do you think it's like a fluke in week 1, or the bookmakers are going to catch up to that and maybe inflate lines for week 2?
We've already seen it. The lines the totals are already up. Even the Raiders game.
I guess so. Huh?
You saw
Monday.
Raiders.
I haven't looked yet.
The Raiders game on Sunday was the only game that line went way up, 2 or 3 points on game day, because one, not just bookies and bookmakers. There's all these people that have all this knowledge out there now, and everybody saw all these games going over. The first game for the Raiders went over in the Hall of Fame game, and that last, of course, it went over as well. So I think you'll see some even not only are the lines started out more, you're going to see a lot more pressure on these lines to get moved up as the games get closer. And it's, like I said, less reps in practice means less, more, missed assignments on defense, more penalties. All that stuff leads to more points.
Right. Which leads to overs. We love overs.
Yep.
Life's too short to bet the under, people. All right.
Yeah. I mean, who wants a low scoring game, So it's good for ratings in the NFL, to be very honest. If every game was 3-2, 6-3, there wouldn't, enough people would still watch, but people like, there's a reason why all the game changes as far as penalties and that, it's always for the offense. It's never for the defense. It's always to put more excitement in the game. It's the reason why they juiced the ball in baseball. And they didn't do anything about the PEDs when they knew it was happening. They loved the amount of runs they got in baseball during that and brought baseball back. Same thing in the NFL. Now we see all these points. It's definitely good for the NFL.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping in, Craig. I know you're a busy guy. Thank you for that breakdown. Learning here. I'm absorbing. We'll see you next time. Follow Craig Trapp at Picks Parlays. Find his premium picks over at picksandparlays.net and use the promo code NFL to save 20%. Thank you. See you later. All right, Craig Trapp, everybody. Well, you'll never believe it, but I've got another guest lined up. We're going to do the same thing, but with one Mr. Sean Higgs. What's up, Higgs?
How are you today?
I'm good. I've been studying football. I'm really trying to absorb this season. Lenny's rubbing off on me. Josh is in my ear. And so I've got some questions for you. And I just kind of wanted to do a Cowboys breakdown, what you saw, what you expect, that kind of stuff. So just initial thoughts out the gate before I hit you with questions or anything.
They look like total trash, which is exactly what I thought they'd be.
So we're in agreement. All right.
I mean, again, I think we did we do the NFC East preview together? I think we covered these guys quite a few times this season, which is the season already.
Why I'm the biggest Giants fan in the world is because I think the Giants dominate that division.
And I said, let's take the Giants plus 750. I mean, Cowboys are favorites for some unknown reason. I have no idea why they're the favorite to win this division.
The Cowboys.
I mean, seriously. I mean, just because you have a star doesn't mean you're, the star of the division. I would say Eagles plus 175, probably a little safer bet, than Giants plus 750 or the Commies plus 500. I mean, you got this Dallas team. As I said before, what is there to say? You have one NFL wide receiver on the roster right now. You have 2.5 offensive linemen. You have a quarterback, which is okay. He might be the best quarterback, but if you're on your back or running for your life and you got nobody to throw to, I don't know how good you're going to be.
Well, and that's part of it too, is if Dak goes out, you've got Cooper Rush, who didn't do great. I mean, it was 12 for 20. And then the one touchdown scored in the game is like there's 5 minutes left. Ben DiNucci throws it. So how confident do you feel in Rush and DiNucci to back Dak should he go down? I mean, that's just lights out, right?
Absolutely bad. And I thought Andy Dalton, you know what? Hey, Dalton's here. I thought Dallas wouldn't skip a beat, or maybe it'll be a little better because you know what? We're going to get the run game going a little more, which would open up the passing. It's not like he didn't have wide receivers to throw to with Amari Cooper and what's his name, CeeDee Lamb and tight ends. You'd think that Andy Dalton, as a veteran guy, took a team to the playoffs. He's got 2 running backs behind him. The backup Pollard's better than the starter Elliott. I mean, and he couldn't do anything on that offense. And do I think Cooper Rush or Ben DiNucci will do anything if that gets hurt? Absolutely not. I think the coach is trash. I mean, he got to 1 Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, who, let's be honest,
McCarthy, is that his name?
He's terrible. It doesn't make a difference, Mike McCarthy. I mean, he's just. I can't even say his name. I mean, it was bad enough we had Jason Garrett for a decade, and then you get this clown in here. What is this team doing? This is a 500 team. You can't even be 500 now because they added a 17th game. So they're 8-9 or 9-8. That's all this team is at best. Terrible. And I like them. Believe it or not, though, I like them opening day plus 2.5 there against Tampa Bay. I kind of like them because I think everybody's going to come in to bet Tampa because it's like, oh, it's Tom Brady. And but yeah, this Dallas team. No, just the coach. Come on, how are you the most penalized team in the league, and then come out in preseason and do the same exact way? Just sloppy.
That was actually my my next question. I talked with Craig about this. The Bengals had 11 penalties. That's a lot. But the Cowboys said, hold my beer. They committed 17 penalties, loss of 129 yards. I kind of asked Craig this question as well. When it comes to penalties, it's really comes down to coaching, right? Do you blame the coaches? Do you blame the players? But the question, I guess, for you is, how do you fix it? And I'm asking this like legit from someone who never, believe it or not, I never played football on a team ever. So like if I'm getting penalized a bunch, how does the coach do that? How do you fix that kind of a thing?
Well, and like preseason, it's tough. Like, I don't. you just have guys who aren't going to play. It's guys who are trying to earn spots, guys who haven't played together. You don't know, are they just getting bad calls? So to me, it's not really. I don't know. I know it looks bad. You see the penalty yards and all stuff like that, but this is just more than that. This is, you hate to say like stuff like it's institutional and the coach, but it is. I mean, it's a head coach who's, I guess he's a player's coach. People feel like he could just do whatever he wants, but sometimes you need a little discipline in your life to straighten things out. Like Cowboys had Parcells for years, and they got to almost the top, right? They had the crazy, missed extra point, right? Romo slips up the ball there, cost them a trip, probably a Super Bowl trip. They would have beat Seattle. They would have beat the Bears. They would have went to and then after he leaves, you get Wade Phillips in there who kind of lets the guys do what they want. And of course, they go 13-3. It's great. But when push comes to shove, when you need that kind of toughness, there is no toughness. And here you got another coach comes in, a veteran kind of guy, like, all right, let's just do our thing. And it's just chaos out there. I mean, it's and again, preseason, I don't know what you're going to do in preseason. Can you work on the little things? I guess preseason, I was just saying in Midday Monday, I have no idea what to expect with preseason. I thought coming in, you lose preseason games. You don't have 2-a-days. You can't have contact because you might hurt somebody and the union's up in arms. Well, that's going to reflect on poor play, right? You're going to get penalties because guys aren't used to running different things and hitting guys and high-scoring games. So it's a I
kind of asked that to Craig, too, was like, because as I was kind of doing my notes last night, are penalties just a regular part of the preseason? Like, we shouldn't look too deeply into this as far as like the Cowboys are going to be penalized, through the whole regular season. Is it just kind of because these are guys that have never played with each other or in the NFL or any of that? So kind of put it to the side then.
I always say, like, it's preseason. I'm not sitting around watching preseason games like, oh my God, what's going on here? I want to look. No, I mean, you can make money preseason because the coaches come out and say, we're doing this. This guy's playing, this guy's not playing. We're going to look to do this. We're trying to round out, some teams are just looking to get those last 3 or 4 roster spots with guys because they're pushing for a Super Bowl or playoff run. Other teams are total rehauls. We're looking for guys. So I don't really care about that. I'm not sitting there watching like what needs to be done here. I don't care. I'm going to go to what these guys say all week long in their comments and go off that. So penalties to me, yeah, it hurts. If you're watching a game and all of a sudden you get a first down or a big play and you get a hold, and you're like, oh my goodness, cost me the game. I'm not sitting there watching. I'm not watching a Sunday game. I'm definitely not watching ridiculous preseason NFL that was totally off the charts, going 14-3 to the overs. I said, Craig came into my show. I'm like, I don't even know what to expect with, after it started a couple overs in the Hall of Fame game and you got like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row, and you're like, what's going on here? Like, I got to adjust my thinking. And I said this today. I'm like, and not that you just bet trends and stuff that's gone on for historical fact, but now the fact is that you've had a couple COVID years where we didn't have a real preseason, and now you change it a total preseason where we get rid of games. They're like, all right, no more game. We're going to add regular season. That's got to be taken consideration, which is why I think the lines were so blown out of proportion in week 1, because you're used to seeing nothing. You're used to seeing a guy come in and nothing, kind of like, all right, just let's just get through this. It's our first kind of contact against another team. Now it's like you're throwing them to the wolves. Let's go. Balls to the wall, because we only have 2 games to play here. We're not, it is what it is. So honestly, a lot of rethinking for me. And I've had a good, I'm 6-3 in preseason. I'm kind of happy about that. 1-1 in totals. I had one under opening Hall of Fame game, which was a loser. And I had a over Seattle, which, again, I had a good line at 33, went to 36, but not like I'm just coming in saying, hey, it's overtime,
Right.
But I'm definitely, for me, looking at these next week lines, I'm thinking 40s, 41s, 42s. I mean, a 43. That's crazy for preseason. So I'm not jumping. I'm not going to run out and bet a bunch of overs because of what I saw in week 1. I'm going to sit back and be like, all right, is this going to be the norm? I'll sit out. I don't have to run and bet every, people, I get it. You want to bet, oh, it's on TV, I'm going to bet the NFL. No. I'm not doing that. I want to see, I need a little data to go on. Is that a fluke, or is it really these guys going to come out and play full on games now in the NFL preseason?
I wonder too, and like, this is my conspiracy theory brain, and I know that the lines are set how they're normally set, so I'm not like implying that something like nefarious is happening here, but we all know that the betting public likes to take overs.
Yeah.
We all also know that like a bazillion people who couldn't bet on the NFL last year can do it this year. So like a part of me wonders, like, is that the books ramping people up for the season? I also have the theory that like in the beginning of football season, favorites cash more, that like the public does well in the beginning of the football season. And then, it gets your confidence up. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know how to bet on football, la, la, la. And then towards the end of the season, it starts to taper off and the book slowly takes their money back once you've increased your unit size and have gained some confidence about being able to do it. They got they got their hook in.
See, I don't think it's like conspiracy, because I feel the same way. Like out of the gate, I'm like dogging up like, oh yeah, so easy. I got a lot of +6 dogs in week 1 here. I'm like Bears outright, Lions outright. Like people are going to be betting on the faves, and I'm going to go the other way. And could I go 2 and 6 or whatever? Possibly. And then you're going to have everybody come in like, oh, this is so easy. Like you said, it's so easy to do. I mean,
but if you go 6 and 2, you're going to be banking with that plus money,
and that's a good start, because faves usually early, and again, that's why I kind of sometimes start a little slow out of the gate. I'm happy for like a 500 run the first couple of weeks because I'm a dog kind of better, and
right.
The favorites. I feel again, are they sucking people in? Possibly. I don't know. Like you said, there's so many people who bet now. And with these totals, let's be honest. We saw, these games opened up, usually open 33-34. By game time, they're all 37-38. This week, they're all 40-41s. I mean,
right.
Is it an over adjustment up to the 40s? And now you'll see a little bit more of kind of better, more disciplined, as a la Dallas, like penalties, or just more kind of crisp kind of stuff, and defense plays a little better, and things just kind of work out a little bit, like the missed tackles in games where guys are running off, and you saw a lot of late wins, right? Again, we talk about, spreads of 1 and 2 here. It doesn't make a difference. If you like the 1-point dog, take the dog outright. He's going to win. They're either winning outright or it's going to be a loss. It's not going to be something along the lines where it's like, we're kicking a 47-yard field goal to tie this one, and we're going, no.
Yeah, it's not baseball season. One run doesn't make all that much of a difference.
And again, like adjusted the numbers, going back to 2010, like totals that were, over 37, open at under over 37, 57% to the under before this week. Totals that were under 37 had gotten over 57.5% of the time. Like a lot of, so now we have numbers that are blown out. We're over 40s. We're 41, 42s. It's, I don't say it's like uncharted territory, but it is. That's a crazy spot, and it's, again, we have to look at longer football season, regular season, shorter preseason, and you got guys who in these practices, right? Dallas played Denver the whole week. You figured it was kind of be a tough kind of low scoring kind of game. No, it's a crazy game.
Yeah,
like what's going on? I don't know. Again, sometimes I just walk away. I don't have to play them all. You don't have to play them all, people. You don't get just because it's there, like you want to bet. Plenty of time to lose you'll lose your money by October anyway. Don't rush to bet preseason off of what you saw one weekend.
They'll take it from you. You don't have to give it to them. They'll take it from you. That's just it. So last question, and then we'll move on. I'll start wrapping things up. So you guys are at the Chargers. Chargers are 0-1. You're the Saturday night game. So last game of the evening is typically that slaughter game, that wipeout game that gets everybody. Both of these teams are coming in 0-1. But I mean, what do you expect?
It's the bailout play. Everybody's going to come in and bet the over 39. I get, especially after, who knows, if all these games are going to be over, everybody's going to be over that 39.5.
I can't bet the Cowboys over when you score one touchdown. It's 12 yards in the last 5 minutes of the game. Like I can't trust you with an over.
I'm not looking to bet Dallas. But again, on the Charger team, this is a team looking for the playoffs, looking a couple position battles, like guys will be playing a little tougher. It's a pick 'em. I would lean Chargers.
That's what confuses me, is that it is a pick 'em. I mean, the Chargers are coming off of the Rams, which is obviously like, just forget that they're the Super Bowl champs, but like, this is Cali. This is at home kind of stuff going on. The pick 'em just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, no, especially after what you saw out of Dallas last week.
The Cowboys is the play, is what it feels like to me. Like the Chargers look too easy.
Yeah, but again, and that was a spot where the Rams, who's playing in, the Rams won. I didn't even know. I was like, I would lean to the Chargers based on the quarterback situation. I'm thinking, all right, I thought Wolfer was going to play the whole game for them. He's their backup. No, he had Perkins play the entire game for the Rams. Like,
Right.
Are we, sticking Chase Daniel? That's what we're rolling with here. You excited? I'm not excited. I mean, that's why it's a pick 'em, because you have Chase Daniel and the stick.
Right.
Dallas, as bad as they played, you'd want to kind of.
I don't know if he's freezing or I'm freezing. I'm not freezing.
He's froze.
Okay, you're out. All right. Well, we were at the end of our time anyway. So thank you so much to Sean Higgs for popping in here, and to Craig Trapp for giving us that breakdown. Guys, if you want to buy premium plays from Craig Trapp or Sean Higgs, where's my promo code? The promo code is NFL, all right? And it's going to save you 20% off whatever you get over at picksandparlays.net. Okay, so let's get back to the last Woody standing. If you're just joining us, today is Monday. It's every week we start the last Woody standing on Mondays. It's a contest that goes on this show live. You're going to give us, it's ticking at the bottom, one pick in any sport. The juice has to be under a -150. That's important. And you cannot manipulate the lines. You pick today. If it comes true, you come back tomorrow. You pick again. You come back the next day. You pick again. It's a whole thing until you're the last Woody standing. And then you win $100 and a t-shirt. So you guys definitely want to get involved with that. Put your picks in now, because once the live show's over, you can't enter the contest. Okay. Very important rule there. Also, don't forget about our sponsor, BetMGM. It's up to $1,000 in a risk-free first bet for all new accounts. Download the app onto your phone and then use this promo code. It's morning. All right. Morning gets you up to $1,000 in a risk-free first bet, or just check out the description of this video and you can click on the link and it'll take you right there. It's not a bad gig. Like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Higgs popped back in. What's going on?
Sorry about the freeze. It happens
It's
sometimes.
okay.
They're still building in my area here, so sometimes like the power flickers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird. I had some problems with Tim this morning. But last thing with Dallas here. So
Yep.
You look at the Chargers, as bad as Dallas looked, right? You're thinking Chargers easy money, right? Should win off a loss. But again, Dallas, nowhere to go but up. No offense. The quarterbacks actually completed some passes. It didn't go anywhere for no points. But again, if you're looking to bet, this is tough as a Dallas fan, because I'm, it is. You like a team, you kind of try to put the reverse jinx on them, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is a spot where you probably want to play on Dallas, right?
That's
as much as
think
kind of
too.
like as kind of much you want to do the Chargers, like, wow, I can't believe they lost last week to a third stringer, but they're kind of an established team. Dallas off a debacle, penalty wise, couldn't get any offense going. But maybe, who knows? Maybe Dak plays a little bit here, lean Dallas, maybe. I don't know. It's a tough one.
It's Dallas, and honestly, the biggest reason why is because it's the last game of the night, and you know how I feel about the Slaughter game, right? That's going to be a game that everybody has in their parlay. Chargers on the money line. Chargers on the money line. That is going to be that game that wipes out.
You got the Dallas popularity tax. It's kind of like it's still the Cowboys.
It's like you said, after looking at them last week and comparing them to the Chargers, which are, a big old name now with old Justin Herbert. I just feel like the Cowboys would be the play. I'm not saying that I'm going to play that game, but I'm just saying they're in a spot due to their timing.
I know. I agree with you. I agree. At first, because initially you're thinking Chargers bounce back there, but
100%.
As Dallas, it's the perception.
Here's another question for you. Here's another question. So with a team like the Chargers, who's like in a tough division and they've got all the pieces and whatnot, in the preseason, do some teams dumb it down because they don't want to show their plays and what they're really actually planning for the regular season? That makes sense?
Yes and no. I mean, you kind of go through like little motions of the offense. Especially, I mean, sometimes you could find a good edge when a team is going to play the same team during the regular season, right? Sometimes you'll get a matchup where it's out of conference teams or out of division teams playing each other, and you can be like, you know what? Jump on the under because these guys are going to show each other nothing.
Right.
But I mean, it's still preseason. A lot of guys are just kind of go through schemes and just, especially a playoff team. They're going to be kind of vanilla. They're not looking to get hurt. They got a couple guys trying to prove themselves. The coach kind of knows what they want to do. So I look for more vanilla offenses anyway, and teams not showing their cards.
Right.
So
See, and the Cowboys don't have any cards, so they win the game. Easy. Chargers aren't going to show their cards. Cowboys don't have any.
So. It would, as much as I say, hey, you take the Chargers because odds look bad. You turn that over, and it's like as bad as it looks for everybody to see. Everybody's going to be faded them. So it would be bet Dallas here. I'm sure Dallas would be favored by game time, I think.
Okay, most important question of the day. How do you feel about the Diamondbacks? I need a last Woody standing pick. I like the Athletics and the Diamondbacks on the money line, but everyone likes the A's on the run line, or on the run line, not money line. So I don't want to take that pick because everyone likes it too much, but it is my Handicapper. What do you feel about? I got a weird feeling about Bum Bum, and I hate it. Like, I don't want to feel this way, but I like the Diamondbacks today. Your thoughts?
I'm not really looking to bet Arizona. I mean, maybe an over. I mean, how about an over in that game? I mean, I don't know. I actually came in on the show. I took the Angels run line. I'm like, I'll take a 190 back on the Angel run line. You want some run line play? I mean, I just, I don't know. Giants. And normally I could come out with an opinion on that game. No real opinion on.
Stay away. It's a stay
the bullpen.
offer.
The bullpen is bad for them, but they still manage to score runs. And Mad Bum is the Mad Bum.
What's your number one baseball play of the day? That's a free pick. None of your premium stuff, because y'all got to go buy his premium stuff. Okay.
Well, most of the time, my either stuff at midday money is still a premium because I have so many games. How about Texas over? Maybe. I put the Mets in the in midday money today. I kind of like the Mets, but Texas over.
I can't get involved with that. That to me is just like I want to watch it. I want to be a spectator for the Mets Braves game. I'm excited about that series. Damian Betts is going with the Mets, though. I love it when your picks rhyme with your names.
I like the Mets. I mean, it's tough. You're just off the Philly game, but Braves off a road trip. I'm taking a plus money. I don't mind losing plus money. If it's plus money, if it loses, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not. I look at it as you're not really losing if it's plus money.
Julie's going to go with the Astros today.
No, Cueto.
Yeah.
And that line's coming down.
I was impressed with McCullers Jr. Not impressed, but I thought about. I didn't play the Astros, but I thought about fading them because it was McCullers Jr.'s first start the other day. But I'm glad I didn't. The Parlays were on it. They were all over the
I watched him and Keuchel the other day in Sugarland to play together.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was an overfest. Home runs, first inning. Keuchel's giving up 3-run home runs. The third guy he faces in that game.
Oh, is that the Round Rock Express you went to see?
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Ben Rosenthal, I went to high school with him. He's their pitching coach.
Oh,
I saw them on my birthday 2 years ago. They played the Aviators.
I wish I would have known when he came out. I would have yelled to him, like, "Hey, get over here and sign." They were giving out Space City astronaut replica jerseys that day. So I had got the jerseys. I got a couple signs, a couple signatures for some Houston guys. Sign the jersey.
That's awesome.
So Space Cowboys, White Sox money line, yes, Astro line, and it's come down the Astro line. I like Cueto Day, probably the under.
That's what I was just looking at too. Actually, yeah, it went from I said it last week. You're quitty. When he played the Rangers and the squad bet was the Rangers and the Rangers got out to an early lead, but somehow the Astros came back. I just kind of can't mess with them.
He's got a 4.8 on the road, and Cueto. I got his numbers down because I knew people were going to talk about him. Last 2 starts, 8 innings, 3 runs, 6 innings, 2 runs, and then 7-3, 7-2, 6-2, 6-1, 8-0. He's pitched well all season. He's yet to turn into a 40-year-old pitcher. It's tough to say, hey, it's mid-August, he's going to bomb today. And the line's it was 140 last night. It's down to a 125.
So there you have it. What do we got? Orioles are at the Blue Jays today. I think I've just got to take the Orioles as my pick.
Again, Kikuchi gave up 5 to him last time they played.
The Cooch sucks, and the Orioles are just my okay. Leonard, that's my Woody. I'm gonna take the Orioles.
Take Kikuchi. No problem with that. Or an over if you want to go over there. I think Kikuchi's gonna give up some runs.
Oh, I do like a good Rickett. Put me on to Orioles team total over. Okay, maybe that's
4.5.
Is that what it is? I'm looking at it.
Probably. I mean, total's 9.
We'll find it. Orioles. Here we
3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
I'll do Orioles over team total over 3.5 for my last Woody standing.
That's everybody else in this contest.
That's a will. I was gonna say that 3.5 looks low.
Okay, then I don't want that if everyone else has it.
I mean, there's three other people.
Didn't they score 5 against them last week?
Astros.
They scored 5 against them last week.
Everybody's all over the
wait.
Orioles first 5, the over, Orioles plus 1.5.
Give me Orioles run line then. I'll take the 1.5.
See, that's the tricky spot because the Orioles were a team that was getting like perfect game, shutout, no hit, and then they get something late. But I like to bet on a team after a bad game like that. You think, the offense is bad, you're going to come out and play the next game. But now the whole world's on them. Now the whole world's on them because it's Kikuchi.
I care less about my last Woody standing pick because I'm so used to not going through on the next round. I care way more about my Handicapper picks. But I mean, the Orioles are kind of my fail-safe this year. So they've been good. First 5 of last year. Yeah. All right, Higgs, thank you so much for coming on the show and breaking it down. I know you're a busy guy. Guys, don't forget to check out Higgs' show, Midday Money. You might even see Tim Earl on there once in a while. You never know. Every day at noon Eastern, right here on Max Wagers Network, Picks and Parlays. Subscribe to Winning Free Picks and follow him at Mr. Sean Higgs. I don't know where your banner is. I have so many.
You know what? I forgot to stream it to Picks and Parlays today. I didn't know. Like sometimes I stream it there, and then I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The whole
good job.
It happens. Yeah, it happens.
Like,
lots of things.
I just forgot.
That's why you got a producer. His name's Tim Earl. Make him do that.
Yeah,
stuff.
You don't have to remember. You just
I create the room. It's my room. I create it.
I have a way better producer than you.
I create her room.
Literally nothing.
Yeah, but but I don't know. Like for me, I set this stuff up because it's my picks, and like I don't know.
Right, that's fair. Yeah, I mean,
Lenny comes in a lot for you. Tim just pops in a little bit like WNBA. It's basically me just rambling and going through the chat. It's not like coming in and chatting. Sometimes I'm like, "What do you got, WNBA?" He's in and out, or like today I had a contract here doing some work. I was like, "Oh, you got to take over. I got to go pay the guy."
Oh my God, Terry, what did I do? Higgs, can you do chaos today at 4, which would be 6 your time?
6 my time.
I need a match for Terry or Tim Earl in the chat. If you could do it, I need a match for Terry for.
Hold on, I have such a crazy. I had to write down a schedule. We have football. We got back to school nights. Got doctors visits for the kids. What time today, Mimi? What time? 5?
6.
6 my time. Yes, I can do 6 my time.
Okay, perfect. I'll send you guys your games. So you're saying take the over 9. Everyone's huge on this over 9. So you're telling me that the Blue Jays score 5 runs and the Orioles.
He's a Blue Jay fan though. So
yeah, that's right. You're a Canadian.
Yeah, he's like.
Oh, so you're not a real country anyway, which ipso facto makes you not a real baseball team. I'm sorry, yes. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it. I love the Blue Jays.
Yes, you did.
It's Canada.
With their beady
little eyes.
I'm getting out of here. I got to get ready to do free pick show.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you there in a minute.
Morning Woodies. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the.
Hey, by the way, I'm gonna. Danny Daniels disqualified from last Woody this year, or not this year, this week. Sorry, that was extreme. This week, tried putting in, and then I tried to tell him, and he said, "No, it's not. Nerfy tried to put in was like minus 170." I've had 4 people, not lying, message me on Facebook to let me know that was too juiced. Danny Daniels, it was like 170. It was like 170. I don't even know what Nerfy it was. Wasn't even close.
It was the Mets and the Braves. Because I looked this up.
It was not. It was not. Not Danny Daniels. You can go back through the chat if you want to see, but it's not. It was the hold on. I'll tell you right now because I can go to my chat with everybody. It was the Padres and the Marlins. That Nerfy on BetMGM is minus 175. Everywhere else, the lowest I found it was minus 160. You've been along too long to not know minus 150, Danny Daniels. And this isn't the first time we've had this conversation. So
it is not. Okay, well then that makes sense. Because I remember looking at the Mets and it was fine.
That's who it was. So.
Danny Daniels. You're gonna get your middle name taken away. So what's gonna happen to you? Padres Marlins.
Shit all the time.
What's up? Roddy Molina's crushing shiz. Just everybody log on to Facebook and take Roddy Molina's picks every single day. Just do that. Drop the hammer, Lenny, says Rycape.
It's right here. Judgment's been found. Judgment's been found.
That
Guilty.
startled me. That startled me. I would bet the Yerfie in the
I did it
Marlins
right in
game
front of
before
my
I bet
microphone, so that's
a
probably.
Nerfie. Mountcastle
Well,
RBI.
now,
plus
yeah, there's
145.
nothing but value on the Yerfie.
Well,
I
there
should
you
have
go.
gave him the Yerfie, and that's the only way you would have cashed them. So,
all right, guys, that just about does it for us. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. If you guys did not get your pick into the Woody, sorry, you missed it. Game over. You got to wait till next Monday. If your pick cashes today, make sure you show up tomorrow to put a new pick in. It goes every day. You're not the last Woody standing because you get through day one. Trust me. All right, guys, thank you so much.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? I'd still be a loser. That would suck because then I would just lose.
Jim Bob, you're the only one that I still need an old last Woody for. You put in new last Woody, but you didn't. I went through the chat twice now, and I don't see an old last Woody. So sometimes he puts it on the Facebook page, or the YouTube page. So if you're still listening, though, be mindful of that, Jim Bob.
Yeah. All right, guys. Don't forget, NFL is the promo code. Oh, I'm directing air traffic today with my hand signals. It's like outside of my Italian talk with my hands. It's like
know.
I'm big. I'm going big. It's the football. It's the football. It's coursing through me. Okay. NFL saves 20% at picksandparlays.net. That's where you get all the best bets. Cobb over strikeouts. 4.5. Giants.
Okay.
Still like the Diamondbacks. All right. All right, guys. Good luck to everybody. Unless, of course, you're against Lenny.
That's a true story.
And you're
Hold on.